All right. Yeah, I'm ready. Oh, wait. Before we start, let me do something first. Give a shout out to you watching right now. You. Yeah, you right there. I'm pretty sure you've been here for most of the ride, and I just want to say thank you. This was not a paid advertisement for the Cali Brick Clique, but without y'all, there wouldn't be a reason to do this.
All right, so we good just to wing it?
Yeah.
All right, we're just gonna wing this.
No, we're not. We're gonna talk about family and like Lego and some things winging it. Come on.
Yeah. All right, so are we all good? In 5, 4, 3.
What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to Cali Brick Clique, episode 48. Yeah. And
Almost done.
almost done, right? Shout out to you if you're catching this because it's about to be Thanksgiving, Turkey Day, however you celebrate it. Hopefully you had a good one. And you can catch this podcast on all your podcasting platforms. Like I'm stumbling. We got Google, right?
Yeah.
I already lost it. I'm done.
Trying to be clear.
we got
You can't be clear on this.
I can't. I tried, I put my suit and tie on, tried to get my professionalism in there. Nah, it didn't happen.
It looks like you're wearing a green shirt.
Oh crap. I guess I didn't even change.
Yeah, there you go.
Look
Yeah.
Maybe that's what happened. But yeah, we have the plastic architect,
Hey.
SHYtime.
Yo.
Yeah. And a special guest, LEGOdanibob. Yeah. So
yeah.
how was your guys' week? We'll start with the banter, you know how we get into it.
Oh yeah.
I've lost my voice if it's not obvious. And it was probably from screaming a little too loud. Back at Disney, it was a ton of fun, but I was saying earlier that like I don't know if it's like inner ear or like it just like it feels like I'm getting jostled a lot more than I used to on these like roller coasters.
You feel a shake.
Like vertigo feeling.
No, not vertigo. No, I didn't get that. But like, like the up and down. So like if like heights and falling, if anything, have always been the thing that would scare me the most, right? With like any kind of roller coaster, even when I was younger. But I was like fine. I remember like the Tower of Terror, being like kind of fun and exciting and but the drop being like pretty calm, especially relative to like Universal rides and like Six Flags. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Which I used to like. I think I've been to so many Six Flag Park when I was younger, and I like loved it. I could do whatever, but man, it's just it's a little different now. So I quite literally screamed for 100% of the ride for Guardians of the Galaxy. And
It was
Sam's
maybe not thrill, but maybe pain.
Yeah, no, part of it I was like, when is this over? Because it was just like up and down and up and down, and I was like, I got it, like point taken, and like I couldn't. So the whole point of it is like it has like music, and there's like different songs that'll come, and then like the drop sequence is based, it changes per song or whatever. And so, and Guardians is obviously this amazing movie with like tons of like just a great like score, or I mean whatever, a great like song list. Anyway, I could barely enjoy it because I was like going up and down. I don't think Sans was like, what is wrong with you? I was like, you don't understand.
Well,
Did Sans at least enjoy California Adventure?
Yeah, he liked it. He's been there before. He likes it. He thinks it's still like an inferior park to
oh wow,
Magic Kingdom. And I agree with him.
The new like Marvel Avengers.
The Avengers campus is like surprisingly a letdown. It's very much like it's like if you're expecting Galaxy's Edge, it's like absolutely nowhere near.
Well, I mean,
didn't they make it out of like the Bugs Life area?
It's a small area, and then obviously you can just tell by the budget that they put into both of those areas that it's not going to be anywhere remotely.
No, it's very much like a photo op area. And they're trying to capitalize more on character meet and greets and like kind of shows and stuff like that.
I feel like that's how Marvel is in that area, because there's always been like little photo ops area like for the characters and stuff like that. So I feel like it's probably better that they have an area.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's like I don't know. I thought the food there is like Ant-Man themed, which is like pretty cool. There's like that is really successful. It's creative. It's really
Oh, the
interesting.
Pin Kitchen, right?
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Like, can you be more specific? That's
It's
It's based on ants.
Yeah, it's ant food. No. It's basically it's got like the Pim molecule have been applied to the food, and so they play with proportions with like just like pretty normal food, like a chicken schnitzel is like really big, and then the bun that it's like on is really small, or like they have a huge oversized like multi-person pretzel, and they have like, you know, you walk in and they have like this thing that goes around that like the pretzel shrinks or gets bigger, and it's really creative. It's really interesting. Cool. And then they have like the way they set it up is they also have a separate like outdoor bar area that you can get like kind of the same playful in terms of experimentation with drinks and stuff like that. But like we don't really drink, and so that's like one of the pluses of California Adventure. It's like very much they brought that like Epcot thing where you can like, you know, go around and like have a cocktail, which I totally get for like so many parents that like that. Yeah, like how that could make your Disney experience a lot better, which is why I like California Adventure. Yeah, but there was like a food festival going on, which was really fun. So like, because we're annual pass holders, so we got to get this like little pass and like, you know, redeem these like tokens, and that was really fun. And the food at Disney has gotten like a lot more experimental and fun, you know.
That's good.
So it got better.
Yeah, it's gotten better. Yeah, it's like it's super fun, and like the but I feel like California Adventure when it first opened, which is what I remember, was like a huge fail, and it's always been just like they've always been trying to like make up for that, and Cars Land is incredibly successful. It's like really cool. It's like very immersive. Yes. It's that and Galaxy's Edge are probably, I would say, the top lands in terms of it, like the integration between, you know, the theming and like where it is. I just don't know why they don't call it Radiator Springs. I don't know why it's called Cars Land. It's kind of weird.
I thought
it's the
maybe I just call it
thing.
Radiator Springs.
maybe that's what it is.
It's got to be easier for the kids.
Yeah, but who's been to Galaxy's Edge here, because it's incredible, and I'm not even a Star Wars fan. Like
I've been there.
Yeah, I've been a few times. It's amazing. It's really, you can't really put it into like scope of description. Mm-hmm. Like you just have to go and experience it yourself. It's every piece of that land has not been like overlooked.
No, even the bathrooms are like themed.
Yeah, everything is the way the doors. And if you're able to steal a spork the early year of it, then good for you. Otherwise, you got to pay $12 for it.
Yeah.
So I was fortunate enough to acquire one.
They have tons of character meetups there. They have like, you know, like they have everything that Adventures Campus has. The food is like the best, I think, in the park there. It's like they have like a bar there. You know what I mean? Like they have a cantina. Like it has everything plus like incredible rides. Oh my God. So we got to ride Rise twice. One of the waits was like 70 minutes. The other one was like 25. And I
heard they got rid of the digital queuing system.
They did on the day we got there. And so that morning it was like, I don't know, a 3-hour wait. And then later we're like, okay, let's do it for like 70 minutes. And then there was a fireworks show. And for some reason it went down to 25 and we're like, oh my God. And right through it again. So Dani, if you haven't been, I recommend like not looking at any YouTube video content on Rise.
No, I did go actually shortly after it came out. It was January 2020. So like right before all the crap hit. And they had the digital queuing system. So we got to the park 2 hours early. Then they let you into the park, but the park's not open yet. So you're in the park for an hour until the actual park opens, and then you can get into the digital queuing system. So
they changed that. They changed that. They changed. Thank God, that would have been ridiculous.
Because otherwise, that was the only way to get on it.
Yeah.
Because I heard even in Florida recently, Cal and his family went down for a vacation, and that's when he told me about it. It's like, you guys waited 3 hours to go on that ride. He's like, yeah, but the line was awesome. And I was like, I don't know about that.
Yeah. So like we did it the first time we did the virtual queue as well. And all you had to do was like wake up at 7 a.m., like right before 7 a.m. Mm-hmm. And then you didn't have to be in the park. You could just like do it. And then you got a time for like later. And then you got to try again at like noon if you didn't get a slot the first time.
Gotcha.
But now they've like done away with that. Yeah. And they're going to introduce like their new product, which is like, they've done it already in Florida, and they're going to introduce it in Disneyland here, which is like Lightning Lane and Genie Plus, which is you basically pay for it. You pay for it. Yeah, they're monetizing all of the situations.
Yeah,
smart. I feel really spoiled with that.
Yeah, I know. We used to have passes all the time with your friends, right?
Yeah, it's
Yeah, no,
gone.
it's not that. Like, so when Star Wars Land opened up, or Galaxy's Edge opened, Star Wars Land, Galaxy's Edge opened up.
Parkland.
I was very numb about Disneyland in general because I've just done it too much. But like, just going to experience before like it was even public. Like we had to seal. We had
He has
to
friends that
seal-
used to work there.
Yeah,
That's why.
we had to seal our phones in a bag when it first opened up. So if you were a Disney employee, you were allowed to bring like 4 friends with you and experience the whole thing, like a sneak peek. The first time I went, I got to experience all of it, just focused just on that area. Had to seal their phones, couldn't take any photos. But like when Rise of the Resistance opened up, Galaxy's Edge was already open to the public, but Rise of the Resistance wasn't. It was only for sneak peeks for Disney employees. So when I went to Rise of the Resistance, it was literally like you just walk the whole thing, like all the way to the front in like 10 minutes. And then I went like at least 3 times within like an hour and a half. And I was like, okay, I think I've like done with this. Now I just feel really, really spoiled because I was like, oh, dude, I don't think I'll be able to get that opportunity again, especially now with how long things are and how hard it is to get into Disneyland now, that now I regret feeling the way I did and not appreciating the moments when I had them. So,
yeah, Disneyland, it's like crazy to get in. Like they sold out of all their annual passes, like or the top 2 tiers of like that. It's like not, I don't know. They're really like trying to crack down on like it was very much like a locals like park, and I think they're trying to make it more of like a destination.
Yeah, that kind of sucks.
It's smart. It sucks, but then it's also smart because I don't know if Florida's always just been closer, but that's always been the destination spot for anybody I know. So
yeah, exactly. If you're gonna go to Disney, if you're gonna fly to Disney, you might as well go where you have like the more options and stuff to do.
Yeah,
which is like I think like I don't know, they don't have that much more space to grow, so I don't know what they're gonna do. I mean, they're doing a few things. They're like redoing parts of like downtown and stuff, but there's only so much that they can do without like
they need to acquire more land.
oh wow.
Well, how that goes.
That's actually a really interesting story, even for Florida, how they acquired more land because they do. They have a ton of land, and it's
Or
like,
they have, yeah.
how the heck did they get it?
Well, I don't.
Dollar bills. No.
I think they just like went in really quietly, and like got it. Like they also like made Orlando. Like you can kind of say that they like got it in a shady way, but there was very little industry there beforehand, and like everything kind of, And to be fair, like they also spent a lot of money developing a ton of the land there, even what they don't own, because it just to make it a better space, to invite more people. Because like in the long run, it'll just like they'll see that in their bottom line. So they work with like a lot of big developers there, and their own big developer there. It's really interesting from a construction perspective. I don't think it's a bad thing. I'm not, I'm a big fan of big capitalist stuff. Like I think if the price, like I'm not upset that the battle pack has gone up in value. I don't think Lego is overpriced. Yes, but these are my thoughts on these things. So
same, but I'm not one to talk.
Yeah. I just think that I think it's like if they can price it at such and it's being bought, it should be priced as such.
Oh yeah. It's always about willingness to pay because money, especially in these last 18 months we've seen, doesn't really hold up. It's really more like what you're willing to pay. So it's kind of interesting because right now is a better time to actually use your money than ever before, because in 5 years from now your same dollar is not going to be worth $1. Like what are we at on this rate? It's going to be worth like 87 cents or something like that.
But I mean,
2 years.
Half the experts think this inflation is going to go back down, and then the other half say
it should balance out.
Yeah.
But it's like what kind of trajectory on, so that's kind of tricky, but it does kind of play into a good strategy if you are buying a lot of Lego sets right now. I feel like I almost wonder, are the sets that were out like 10 years ago, are they as valuable as they are now? Because there just wasn't as much information. There weren't like 1,500 YouTubers talking about Lego Star Wars 10 years ago, and now there's like quite a few. So then there's a lot more people being informed about like what to buy or what not to. So
and
it's
they're
like
making
always
a lot
kind of
more inventory too.
Yeah, they are. And so it's kind of like, well, okay, you just never know. That's the fun thing about like investing or whatever you think you're going to get your money's worth for in like 5 years from now. That's why it's risky.
But you said it though, you're like, it's still a risk. It's still a gamble. You just never know. I think a lot of people justify the Lego purchase by being like, well, I can sell it
Yeah.
later, or it'll go up in value, or I'm
Right.
investing in it or something like that.
Yeah.
But most people won't sell it.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. I'm
They'll end up
determined.
being-
I have some set aside that I'm going to sell in a few years.
Are they duplicates or are
Yeah, they're
they?
duplicates.
Okay, so you've made that jump and you're like, I bought some sets for investment.
Yeah, I did. And I made room for them and everything. It looks amazing just having some shipping boxes sitting up on my shelves.
That's nice.
It's also good to have some for trade.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
So that way you have especially gift for purchases. We all figure out a
Yeah.
way to get more than one during one
Mhm.
WP. So
Yep.
that extra one, it's whatever. You'll either
Mhm.
sell it or you trade it.
I just sold not all, but a huge chunk of all those extras.
Feels good
And
though, right?
I
Let
just
go of
didn't
that.
yeah, I wouldn't. It feels good because I don't have space. If I had
Mhm.
space, I would have been fine keeping it. You know what I mean? It's just it was one big plastic a big the big Sterilite containers. It was one big one
Yeah.
of those.
Was
And
it a bunch of variety of different GWPs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
and it's
That's
probably from
exciting.
the last year and a half or something like that.
If you have
Because
any
that was
holiday ones, now's the time to bring it to Brikx and Minifigs because they'll buy it for a premium.
everything went on eBay.
Yeah.
Boom, all gone.
Because that's usually what I do. Right before the holidays hit, any holiday GWPs, they'll buy it for a dumb amount of money
Mhm.
because they'll sell for a dumb amount of money.
There you
That's
go.
fun.
Insider info.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And gift with purchase, some of them a lot of them don't go up in value too much. Only something like Diagon Alley, you know what I mean?
That
little-
one's crazy.
Yeah. And it's got an exclusive fig. It's a mini, all the kind of mini building things do really, really well.
The
But
Batmobile also.
the Batmobile was really good. Yeah. That one. And the bike too, the Bat bike thing. That was ridiculous.
pod?
Oh yeah, that's right.
That one's so
The
stupid
Bat pod.
expensive. But you can part that one together, which I have done.
I was just gonna
Party
say how
together?
expensive it is to bring a family to Disneyland, but we got in a huge sidetrack on that one.
Oh yeah. It's really expensive to bring
Right?
a family to Disneyland.
So-
yeah.
Now, for a lot of people now, it's becoming unattainable to bring your whole family to a Disneyland.
There's tricks to the trade.
There are tricks, but you have
Well-
to know those tricks, and it's
You
for the most,
do.
how much does it cost to go to Disneyland for one person?
It depends on Disneyland versus Disney World.
Yeah, 'cause
Like-
it's $100 a day a ticket. Actually, not. It's more than that. It's
They're both
115 even.
I would say $150 a day a ticket. But then if you want to go to Disney World, a lot of people, you can stay on or off property, which is a very different experience. While at Disneyland, it's not that much. It's not that much different of an experience. You can still stay in hotels that you can walk. And there's a whole price range from $80 a night to $400 or $500 a night, within the same walking distance.
Yeah.
But and then if you're local, you can live a little bit further out or whatever, you can stay a little bit further out and get an Airbnb or something and kind of figure it out. But it's $150 a day,
one
but it
person.
does flex. During
But-
the low peak season, it's
Yeah.
$80.
Yeah, I was going to say that too. So pretty much for 4 people, which there's a lot of families of 4, you get
Mhm.
the hotel room for 3 nights and then say 2 or 3 days of park tickets. It's going to be $5,000. You'll probably get a meal pass thrown in there, but you pretty much have to plan out $5K.
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly.
You also got to
which is
remember that
why-
these peak seasons are when kids are out of school. So when it's
That's why
low, you
everyone
can't
should just
really bring your
homeschool their kids.
there. Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah.
Then you can go anytime
Um,
you want.
That's exactly it. That's
Or you
you
just play
need to
hooky and
homeschool your
just go.
kids to save money on Disney. That's
Yes.
the
Mhm.
rhyme or reason with it. No, but I think that's why they convince a lot of people to do their timeshare program, because I think that's a $20K buy-in over the course of 10, 15 years. And so they're oh, but of course that makes sense because we spent $5K this year and we'll just make that up. And we have to come back once a year for a week and then it's worth it. And it's they sell people. It is crazy.
And you're also buying other things like food, merchandise.
The merch is crazy.
Yeah.
A Spirit jersey is $100, and it's you buy it for every single person in the family, and it's there's $400. Every meal is probably $100, but you can bring food. You can, you know what I mean. You can buy stuff at the Disney store or like Walmart or Target, like on sale, and then like sneak it into your kids' luggage so that they like, it's like a surprise, like, you know, like, and put like glitter with it so that they don't know where it came from. No, it's like, they think it's pixie dust or something like that, you know? And so like,
See,
and
gotta be
I feel,
creative.
yeah, there's like ways to do it. And so that it's like, and then I remember when I was a kid, my parents would be like, you have this much money. You can spend it however you want all day or the whole trip or whatever. I think like the older I got, the more I could like divide. So it was like, and they're like, you have this much money to spend. You can choose how you want to spend that. And most of the time I just like couldn't. And they're like, you can either like add it all together or whatever. And that was like a really good way for me to like budget then.
Yeah,
Clearly it doesn't work now because no, but you know what I mean?
And no, it did work because you know, you focused on your career to get that money, so you didn't have to worry about it.
I was like, I need money so that I can buy all the Disney merch that I want and all the Lego.
I feel you. That was definitely my mentality too. Because like even as a kid, my priority was to like make money, and I definitely made sure that I did that before anything else. And
I love this about you, by the way. I love. Wait, I don't know if Ninja and Shy know this, that you were just like hustling at like 8. Hard.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. I started a vending machine business when I was 11.
Yeah.
And so I would go fill like the drinks and the snacks and stuff. So that by the time I was 16, like I actually had some money saved up. And so then with all the jobs, because people always ask, they're like, oh my gosh, you bought a lot of Lego sets in the last whatever, how many months? How do you afford all this? And I'm like, savings. I've been working since I was 11. I have some money set aside so that I can do stuff like this later. So yeah. It definitely pays to save some of that money early on because you never know what you're going to do with it. Some people need it for a house. Other people need it for a Lego house. Just depends.
Exactly. Or like, and it's important to have that money for like a family as well. Like you just like, you need, speaking like, you know, like Ninja, you don't spend on yourself so you can spend on your kids, you know? And it's like, and same with you, Shy. That's like the only, like, I don't know, for me, it's like, if I'm not spending on me, I'm spending like on future me and, you know, little me's and stuff like that later.
But,
and so
I mean, it's almost the same though. Like if they pick something out, I don't know, buying it for them, it's like you get the same joy. So I'm like, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I love buying my kids like stuff. I get just as much satisfaction out of it as they do.
I just, you know, I try to guide them like, you don't want that Minecraft set. Come over.
Exactly.
It never works,
and like,
but I try.
Oh man, that's funny. You're like, look at video.
Oh gosh. Hey.
Speaking of video.
Yeah.
That was a good video.
Sans dropped it. Out. For those that don't know, definitely go check that out.
Yeah, if you want to see a lot of us shaking our booty in a very embarrassing way that didn't know they were being recorded.
Oh, that's your Holly. Man.
No, I know I was being recorded. Yeah. Yeah. No, Holly did like a good whole like a routine. It was great.
Jabba was my favorite.
Kirk's a pretty good dancer. Who knew? I know.
Groove.
It was fun. It was a lot of fun. I don't know. Have you seen Sans' new video?
I have not.
Okay. Well, it is entertaining. I think it's probably the best thing he's ever put together.
I loved it.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, but like obviously I'm biased, but like I think it was really good because like he was like critical and thoughtful and spoke well and like didn't speak too fast and like, you know, and it was like not hateful. I don't know. I thought it was like well done. And then like,
wow.
And then he incorporated like people from the community and it was like funny. I don't know. I thought it was good. I'm really curious. I'm going to like send it to like a couple of my friends that know nothing about Lego. And I feel like they're going to be like, what?
So, okay. So you know how I posted like a chunk of it as a story? So I had a bunch of people who are not, or who are in my other circles who are not fond or care about Lego whatsoever. And they were genuinely curious about what
it was. Yeah.
Yeah. They're like, well, what is this? And I'm like, it's Lego video. It's like one of my friends made a video on it. He's like, what the hell is Lego video? And so I had explained it to them, and they're all parents. And they're like, that's dumb.
Yeah.
Why would you go to Lego to be back on the phone or on the app or on electronic? That's not why I would bring my kids to play
what
with
did he
Lego.
say? He's like, let's make TikTok for babies or YouTube for babies or something like that. Yeah.
But it was really well done. So
he spent a long time. Anyway, yeah. Shout out to that. But I would recommend it. Usually I'm like, watch it with a grain of salt. And this
maybe you should be critical on it so that way like it blows up.
Dang.
Oh yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
The architect's review.
I know. Speaking of which, Holly gave me the suggestion, and I think this is a good one. I want to start doing architect review videos of other people's cities, like in our community.
Oh,
That's a good idea.
I think it'd be really fun.
Why'd
And
you
even
say
if it
that
like
here?
doesn't, even not like outside of like any kind of like legitimate like, success of it, like I think it would be really funny to just like sass on everyone.
That
probably
would
having
be
fun.
so
That'd be
fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it'd be fun. So now, Dani, you got to make a city though. You got to get the family, your army of TFOLs to build
Yeah.
a Lego city.
It'll be definitely like a Star Wars city, I think, because that's something that we actually kind of want to do, to make like different scenes. But then, okay, so now I'm going to start talking about this stinking game that I can't stop talking about, which is on Apple Arcade. It's Castaways, right? And they have like a Lego Star Wars like little open world, and it's like the perfect connector between
that people build.
No, because you're not building stuff. You're playing like, it's a lot like Lego Star Wars games, just like where you're running through the levels, destroying stuff, collecting studs, and upgrading different things. But actually, the layout of it, it's actually all rendered with Lego bricks. It's not just different textures. So it gave me a bunch of mock ideas for how to actually lay out a Lego Star Wars city, because they have an open world Star Wars area, and they have their own take on like a cantina and a fountain and like a broken AT-AT and various things. So if I were to do any type of landscape layout, it wouldn't just be scenes like my original idea. It'd be something more like the open world of Castaways. I was like, that's actually kind of sweet. So there wouldn't really be modular buildings unless we got into like kind of like when we were trying to do something with Jeddah City and making those different style buildings. It'd probably just end up like, Tatooine, like Mos Eisley Spaceport or something. But actually,
those are still buildings, though.
Those are buildings, but then like you kind of get stuck in like one area. So then, how do you like make it a continuous kind of city where
for Tatooine? I think. Well, I mean, I think it's inherently modular because it's only like a few styles that you can do in that like in that like earthen, So like if you if you connect like a bunch of Mos Eisleys and like change the configuration of it, you could inherently make like a system, like a modular system for Tatooine.
Right.
Has anybody ever done a Coruscant?
I was gonna say, I feel like Coruscant. I barely even know it, but like Sans has told me that's like we went on it and on Star Tours this most recent trip. 1, so I've been there. 2, it's like the like city planet the city, right? And it's like really cool. I think that would be really it'd be like, but it's also got like
it's all the lower levels as well.
Like different levels of
like the tiered system, and it's very like Blade. I feel like it has like Blade Runner vibes and stuff, like to me.
Yes,
it
does.
I've never watched it, but I'm sure it does.
Oh my god.
Like kind of like weird like Tron vibes or Fifth Element kind of stuff. Like there's like this whole like category of these like cities, and then there's photographers that like are in like Hong Kong and Shanghai and stuff and Tokyo that take photos of like the neon signs like during certain like rain and stuff like that, and like the way that they like play with the aperture and stuff, they make it look like that style, and it's really really cool. But anyway,
Coruscant definitely cool. So Star Wars City.
Star Wars
has to have some kind of modular building elements, potentially with multiple different worlds all mosh posh together.
Yeah. I mean, it's got to be modular if you're going to take it to a convention so that you can like move it and build it and take it apart easily. You guys did like your first submission at Brick Fair was awesome. It was very cool. It was, I like as a non-Star Wars fan, I thought it was very proportionally pleasing and
proportionally pleasing.
No,
we're getting the first taste of the architect.
Yeah, there you go. No, it was good. It was like the colors were really cool. There was a lot of activity going on. Your eye was like constantly moving throughout it. It was really exciting, and I can only imagine like as a kid who's like a fan of it would have really enjoyed sitting and like just like watching everything that was going on. So it was really great.
Cool. Yeah, we need to think of what we're going to build next and do multiple things, and then somehow acquire all the bricks to do so.
Yeah,
acquiring bricks was a whole journey of its own.
how did you do it last time, and like how are you gonna do it this time?
Because now I actually have a few resources to buy in bulk, and also I
Mhm.
just have way better feel for how Bricklink works, and just like also what parts we would actually need. I feel like all of us were a little bit out of touch and like
Mhm.
what bricks we actually needed. So I
Yeah,
got like a
that's
bunch
cool.
of random stuff.
Mhm.
So yeah, I'd probably just get like bulk of certain colors again and then just sort it so that we have a ton of bricks. That's always
Mhm.
the problem is like you just start building anything and you don't really plan ahead. And then you actually need specific elements, but you
Mhm.
use them in like the random wall that you needed just for height. So actually like having some foreknowledge of that is significantly helps. So I don't know how people do the big mocks though. Like obviously some people that are very experienced, you know, Rich Boy J and David's All Brick Studio, obviously they have
Mhm.
like drawings and plans and a lot more bricks to use.
A
But still,
lot,
their
yeah.
end results are just mind blowing. So it's a bit intimidating because, like, of course, I want to build something on that scale, but it's just
Mhm.
not doable right now. So going with the smaller, detailed things, like I kind of actually want to provide enough bricks for each TFOL to actually build their own, like, sizable, but you could carry it size kind of mock
Yeah.
so that they can just be free with it. Cause that was a whole nother thing trying to like, hey, this should go there. No, I don't think that looks good. Put it over there. Oh, that looks terrible. But how do I tell this 15-year-old kid not crush his
Yeah,
heart?
it's like project manage these guys, that like are
Totally,
like
totally.
hypersensitive and like can't take critique and like don't really. But that's
Yeah.
also really good that you're like, teaching them that like the critique process and constructive criticism is like really important and stuff too, which is really
Yeah.
good. Yeah. No,
That's
it's like
awesome.
I feel
So like each person brings their own mock. Is that what you're saying, basically?
Yeah. If I can
Airtable?
like, cause there's Cal, Jed, Josh, and Dougie. And I know that Cal and Josh would probably be better off if they actually had their own separate projects to work
Okay.
on, but they just need like support and a lot of bricks because they just go crazy. They just use them anywhere. And I'm like, I was going to use those later on. Those are good elements. So
Like, dang,
guiding,
you
you know, all
there
about
you go.
that, guiding them.
No, that's awesome though.
Yeah.
Can we break down your TFOL structure?
Structure.
Army?
So we got the
anyone who doesn't
hierarchy.
know? Yeah,
Of course,
like,
I'm at the top. I am alpha boss here with the money.
There it is.
I provide the transportation to the fun locations and the means and access of connectivity to actually socialize and interact with other people so that people don't think they're nerdy homeschoolers just playing with Lego. Which we all came from that. So it's a whole new world with the internet now. Then we've got the second oldest, my brother Dougie, 17. And he was the beneficiary of whatever Lego me and my older siblings had growing up. And mom also bought a lot of Lego sets while I was off at school that he was able to build. And so he had a lot of Lego Star Wars sets that helped build the collection that's behind me. And I would say he's more of our vehicular engineer. He likes, how things work. Then the next oldest, we got Cal Dog. And he's quite social as well. He's also got a lot of style. So I'd say his aesthetic, storytelling, minifigures, that's his strength.
It's like the PR of like the group. Yeah, maybe.
Oh,
like marketing base of the company kind of thing, maybe.
Definitely. And he was the one networking with all the Lego masters and stuff too.
Yeah.
Okay. Dang.
So I feel like he's got like a pretty good storytelling aspect of it and an aesthetic, but then maybe not so much structural integrity. I think I'm more of the structural integrity and how can we get like sizable features and proportions to look right. Then I need Josh, my nephew, who's 14, to come in with the detail. And he puts the weirdest details on things, putting bricks in ways that I never would have thought of, and things that don't line up and they're not like perpendicular. They're like this. And so like my OCD kind of tweaks a little bit, but I'm like, actually, it works. So Josh is like the landscape man. He loves doing all the different weird details. And then we have Jed. I'm not really sure what to classify Jed as. You tell him where to go and he'll build a mountain. Like we gave him all the great bricks and he built this mountain. And I was like, well, I suppose there'll be a mountain in Jeddah City and we'll make it work.
Nice.
So yeah, that pretty much breaks down the team. Jed's obviously the youngest, so he also is a bit more shy. But I think Cal helps make up for whatever social conversation that he lacks. So that's the TFOL group in a nutshell.
The fact that you can fit them all in a small car with a bunch of Lego also astounds me.
I don't think it's a small car. Yeah.
I mean, it's not a large vehicle because it's just a Jeep, Jeep Cherokee. But luckily, their parents actually drove them to Virginia.
Mhm.
So we were going around in the town together, but the long haul back and forth, I could barely fit just Dougie and Josh with all the Lego on the way
Oh my
back.
God. Well,
So
that
that
would be
wasn't
because
good.
of some shopping that was had. Come
And
on.
there was some shopping done.
Yeah, exactly. Come on. Did you
We
see
didn't
her haul? It
anticipate
was so
all that.
crazy.
The largest haul for that convention.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was all of us combined. So, I mean, granted, I did have about 3/5 of that, but still.
Yeah, still. It was good. Excuse me.
Just
like-
3/5?
Yeah. Maybe a little more. Actually, well, technically, if you combine Dougie's in there, it's probably 4/5 because, yeah, there's a lot of overlap. Like Dougie's money versus my money, there's not always a very clear divide. I hope he's okay with that. You're like, okay, let me withdraw $300 for you. And then how much? You owe me like $250. Okay. And then can you buy that set for $800? Okay. I think we're even now.
That makes sense. Adds up.
Yeah.
Like, do you think you would enjoy the hobby if like your family and friends and stuff weren't that involved in it?
I would,
Mhm.
but I wouldn't talk about it with them. And that's kind of a mood killer. The fact that I can express it with them and actually more than that, bring them into it. And it's already something that is, people already like it. Like my whole family grew up with Lego and it's already something that they would do, but it just amplifies the whole thing. Like Josh was probably the biggest fan of Lego in our family ever. And then I came to start like being a bigger fan of Lego. And he was like, wait, I'm the fan of Lego in the family. And now you're buying all these sets and I'm getting really jealous. He actually told me, he was like, yeah, for a while there, I got really jealous of all the Lego sets that you were buying. But then you started to bring me in on your live streams. And so it was all cool. I was like, all right. Good to know where you stand with that.
Nice.
Because, yeah, it's fun to actually like be able to connect with the nieces and nephews with it too. Because otherwise, like you just have to go into their world. But when you can bring them into your world and it's actually something that like bridges that gap really easily, it just works.
Yeah,
So,
you're like absolutely
awesome.
meeting like halfway, which is really cool.
Yeah.
And then I think like also there's a lot of value for, at least for in my eyes, like for a young person to be like going to a convention, planning for a convention, you know what I mean? Like planning on presenting something, presenting it in front of others, like talking about it, being in like a really big public space, especially if you're homeschooled. I feel like that's like really important too. You know what I mean? It's like what, like, I feel like the majority of the time you're like presenting to like the same people, right, that you're around a lot of the time too. And so like constantly meeting those new people, I think is like probably a really good environment. And also, you know, it's a really good environment. Like if you've ever thought about going to a Lego convention and like, especially I've only been to one and it was a big one and it was incredibly wholesome and like very family friendly, but also like really great for, you know, adults as well. Like it was just like true fans. It wasn't like people were finding an excuse to just like party and go wild. It was very much like people that are like-minded in terms of like their love for the hobby from all sorts of different backgrounds, like coming together just to talk about it. And it was really wonderful. So, which is where we met.
Yeah. Brick Fair, Virginia.
Yeah. It was good. Are you going back next year? Or are you going somewhere else?
Oh yeah, we'll for sure be going back again. Since then, we also went to Brick World, Indianapolis, and Fort Wayne. They're much, much smaller, of course. But even just the feel of those, they feel a lot more like conventions, whereas the one in Virginia was like a whole event.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, summer camp, totally. Because obviously, like going in as an exhibitor, not just as a guest, makes a big difference in being more a part of it versus just an attendee. But yeah, these other two were definitely more like, the demographic was different. It was a lot more like dads and kids, and then a bunch of older guys, and not really a lot in between. Like Brick Fair was like a bunch of 20-somes, like 18 to 30 was like popping. But then at these other places, the demographic was definitely, there was more of a gap. So yeah, Brick Fair, Virginia just was that much cooler after seeing those other ones.
Yeah, it's still fun.
Because it's trendy.
Still
That's
jealous.
It's
why.
trendy.
So all the youngsters go to those.
God, isn't it weird to be like, oh yeah, this Lego thing is trendy? Kind of funny.
I mean, the image is changing. If I think about,
It is.
so it's actually in a transition right now because all these like conventions are fan run.
Mhm.
They don't always have like the nicest websites, to sign up, and our expectations of how things should look at this like professional level kind of attracts certain demographics as well. And so when you look at the website for most of these conventions, you're like, who's going to be there?
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, that's like in a big transition right now because I see Lego becoming something that like so many more people, so many more adults are being drawn to
Mhm.
because of its like overall aesthetic. Like just the colors of Lego bricks now compared to just the, original classic, the juvenile colors, right? Like even now, just all the shades kind of brings in all that better aesthetic. So
Plus the creativity behind it too. I think people are realizing they can use it as like an outlet for their art and stuff. They don't have to just build the set that's there. So
Yeah, so the
I think
art of the
we're-
brick is actually coming to San Francisco like pretty
There you
shortly
go.
here.
Oh.
And we got tickets, but like everything, it like sold out like crazy, which is like really interesting because I think a lot of people are also like dying to, just like do stuff. But also like I think more and more people are interested in it. And I'm curious like how many people like get into the hobby from an art exhibit like that, which is like, leaps and bounds different from what most of us do.
yeah.
But yeah, anyway, that's coming here. And I was really impressed. Like so many of my friends that like have like come over, they've seen the collection, they like some stuff, but they haven't bought any sets. They bought tickets even like not to go with us. They're like going independently, like with their families and stuff, which is kind of interesting. So I don't know. I'm just curious, like how, and like Nathan Sawai has been doing that for like a while. Like this is not a new thing. He's been around like for like 10 years, I think. But I wonder like the level of popularity, if it's grown or if it will continue to grow.
You're going off of his exhibits?
Yeah, and like because so many more people have gotten to the hobby like in the last couple of years, will they like maintain it? Will they are those people also going to the art exhibit? Is this like a different demographic? Does that demographic get brought in? I don't know. I'm really curious because they tend to go to cities. Cities tend to have less people that are, can get into the hobby as intensely as we do because space is like really limited. As we see, all I do is talk about space. So like, I'm like a broken record, but it's really, I don't know. It's really interesting. I'm really curious. I'm very curious for the next 10 years of Lego. I like it, like, are they going to be able to like keep maintaining, pumping out these like really humongous, really elaborate, really expensive sets, like one after the other? You know what I mean? Like just like to the point that like we can't even keep up.
We can't keep up right now.
I know.
I
That's
feel
what I
like
mean.
it's
Like how
changed
often
in
are
this
they
whole
gonna do
year though. Like
I just want them to chill. Come on.
I don't, because I want them to be growing, and the more they grow, the more success they get. Just like,
that's true.
you can't,
That's true.
like, you gotta think beyond, your
But they're already
Beyond our
five walls.
They're already beyond that. They're already beyond that. I mean,
No,
if they
I know
really-
that they're successful. I just like want it to keep growing. It can get so much better. It's still a niche hobby, you guys. It's still a niche hobby.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. It's not like
there's also like a level between casual Lego fans and then obsessive. We
Oh,
are
yeah,
all
well,
past the
that's true too,
casual
yeah.
part. To where
Hoarding.
this is, to where
I don't know. I
we
feel like
go
I'm
beyond.
still casual.
No, but you care about it enough to understand and know everything. There's a lot of people
Maybe.
that don't. They'll just buy like a set. No, but you know a lot. Like
Yeah,
as
that's
far as
true.
what things means, like what's the purpose of this, like especially in the fandom, you know a lot.
Possibly too much. You're
Yeah,
right.
exactly. So like when I
You're
think
right.
about the casual Lego fan, they're just like, buying for their kids, playing it with their kids, and then just one day they're gonna grow out of it and then move on. And then you have your other ones who buy it specifically just for that one set, like for example the friend set. Like they strictly just bought it for that and haven't gone past that. So there's a lot of that where they're low infinity users and they, Lego's trying to make them like us. And that's why they're pumping all this stuff out. But at the same time, it's like, I don't know, it could be good for them, but it could also hurt them. because a bubble can pop.
Yeah.
Like people are going to go back to like normal eventually. It's not going to be like this way forever.
So then I think we're getting into the space of like where this brand becomes something so much more. And I think if you compare it to other collectibles, then one thing that comes to mind is some people that I know that are into Lego collecting are also into shoes. And this is totally like, I do not understand the appeal to pay thousands and thousands of dollars for a pair of shoes because the materials themselves are not expensive, just like the Lego materials, not expensive. The design, it's, you know, not like that revolutionary. It's just whatever the design that is put forth. You get into this kind of like designer brand and this reputation of having it. But then even then, like you're not going to wear these shoes that cost thousands of dollars for the most part. Some people do. But it's like you're going to put them on the shelf and have as your shoe collection for you to have as your pride and joy. So I'm like, could Lego actually become this kind of like brand, like this brand reputation? Because, you know, Claire, you're saying think bigger. I'm like, okay, so they're what, like 4 billion, then they become 8 billion. And then they make a bigger Legoland and, you know, like what comes next? And I'm like, even with Star Wars, I never would have imagined that Star Wars would have grown as much as it has as a brand. You think about the merchandising for that. So I don't know. It's
well, I think what
endless.
I think what both so Lego, I think already Lego has done a really good job of like branding themselves as this like superior product, which is why so many people are like afraid of other brick building toys. You know what I mean? Like there's like a stigma in terms of like mixing the Lego or like getting other like people think that that's like their own decision. Well, no, you've been convinced of that. You know, that's how the market works. That's how like, you know, societal pressures work. It's fine, but like you didn't come up with this idea yourself. And then on top of it all, like a lot of brands are leaning more and more towards defining themselves as a luxury product. You see that with Disney and why they're like pushing and like trying to market specific financial demographics in terms of like being able to profit from that. Hence like why the parks are getting more expensive. You know, they're opening up like a Star Wars experience that is like a few $1,000s a night to go. And so that's like a 10K, what is it, 5-10K buy-in for a couple people. So, you know, a lot of these brands are intentionally trying to do that and transition. And you've even seen Target do that. Target is Walmart. They are the same thing.
Yeah.
But the way that they have branded themselves, the way that they store their shelves, the way that they keep it clean, the color palette, the proportion of things that they're, you know, when you walk in visually, the way that the displays are, the exclusivity of it. You know, when you walk in and you're like, oh, I went in for this, but I got all of this. That's intentional. You are also, that is not a decision that you made. You know, it's like, and I think people like have a really hard time and they're like, well, we're American and we're totally free. And it's like, no, like you are, and you're totally free, but you're a product of marketing and you're you're a product of your environment, which is, you know, being pushed into getting into debt. That's like quite literally like our financial system here, you know, and like that's why every time you shop online, there's brands like the companies like Afterpay and Klarna that are trying to come after you with like 0 interest rate so you can pay in 4 different installments. What they're banking on is that you're not going to be able to afford it and you're going to get a huge fee. Like you have to think these companies need to make money, all of them, Lego, Target, Klarna, Afterpay, all this stuff. And you are the target, right? You are in control. But to a degree. But so just like, anyway, just be a conscious consumer, guys. Just like, no.
Dude, serious.
I mean, like.
NSF charges.
And wait, what did you say? What charges?
Said they want those NSF charges.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. Yeah. And so, just like you're not like, oh my God, what is this? This is free money. There's no such thing, right? No. So just be careful on Black Friday, guys. Like, you know, just be careful. Like when shopping today.
But really, there's not that many things unless you're trying to get a GWP specifically.
No, like buy the appliance that you needed for the house. Like I definitely want to buy Lego for sure. And I'm like, I'm talking to myself, by the way, as I'm talking, you know, to my mic and I'm talking to you guys. I'm also talking to myself. Like I would like to buy Lego, but instead I have 2 light fixtures that are broken. My dad broke that one changing the light a couple years ago. So it's just been like raw without like, you know, like a flush mount without it sitting on it. And that one, when we were at Disneyland, the frame of it came down and the cat's food is right underneath it. I don't know if it hit the cat. Maybe that's why he's like meowing this whole time because he's crazy. But like, you know, I need to like, there's like stuff in my house I need to fix. That's what I'm going to spend that money on Black Friday.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Gotta
those are the
take
better
care of it.
deals anyway, right? It's like if you wanted a blender, it's now's a good time.
Now's the time to buy a blender.
Yeah, there you go. Or your washing machine or a TV
Air fryer.
Yeah,
Not Lego is pretty much what you're saying.
Yeah. Oh no, I mean get your Lego sets if you have to get like gifts and stuff, but like, you know, and if you can afford it, obviously like get it and treat yourself and enjoy it. But like, you know, if you're gonna feel guilty about it, it's not worth your guilt.
Right.
True.
Well, yeah, right. Your feelings are more valuable than that.
Sorry. I'm just thinking about all like the toy runs that.
No, Shy is like freaking out. He's like trying to prep himself for Friday.
Well, it's not that. No. So a lot of what I buy on Fridays aren't for me. Usually because my club has like at least 2 toy runs from starting on the 4th and 5th until Christmas. Like we have multiple toy runs that we need to accumulate toys to deliver somewhere. So like Black Friday or any deals like that, that's usually when we accumulate as much as we can, so that way we can give them kids. Lego is usually not one of those things because they're just too expensive. So the knockoff Lego is what we get.
Yeah, I feel like that would make sense. Like when you like hit up, like if you like for some reason, obviously not in your area, but like if you're like in a Walmart and you see stuff for like 50% or off or more, then there would be value in doing that.
Yeah.
Anyway, good to know. Next time I'm, in the middle of Nevada, I'll let you know, hey, there's hundreds of Ninjago sets that nobody wants. Would you like to?
See that?
Oddly specific. Does this happen before?
Did this happen?
It's true. It's true. Like it's always in the middle of nowhere where they have all these like really cheap
Actually,
rollbacks at Walmart.
what they had, which would
True.
be perfect for that situation, they had, the like $10 like Thor mech and Captain America and that stuff. They had them for like $4 or $5.
Oh, man.
Which is like, and they had like 50 of them. And so we didn't have them and we liked them and we got it for the figs and stuff. So we got those, but like they had a ton of them. And it's not like everything was on sale, but I feel like those are great little gifts for something like that, for like a toy drive.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I every time I've given a toy to a kid, they've always appreciated it. But anytime I gave an actual Lego set, like their eyes blow up 10 times more. It's really it tells a lot about the brand itself.
That was the case when we were younger. Like
Yeah.
that was like I didn't grow up with Lego for a reason. Like I had a couple sets. Like I had a Duplo set. They were all gifts from like, my family that doesn't have kids that had the financial resources to do that. Like my parents didn't buy me Lego. They're like, get out of here.
See, what if you hand it to that one kid? He's like, I have to build this.
That has happened to me. That has happened to me.
I think they're few and far between, but it does happen for sure. For sure. Yeah.
Yeah. But you can tell with those kids like what they're really into. So
Yeah.
it's
Like give it to mommy or daddy. They'll build it.
Yeah, exactly. So, but I'm looking forward to it. It's a new holiday. I'm not gonna buy. Like I've said, I keep telling myself this. I guess like just keep reinforcing the fact that I'm not buying any Lego till the new modular comes out. Like that's it's so hard.
You got this, man. You got this.
You got it.
That's in like a couple weeks, dude.
To drive
Like,
up
it's cool.
scratch
It's
my
not that
neck,
far away.
Yeah.
Like what I gotta do?
Only
What do I gotta do to get it?
Cold
But
sweats. If you're watching on the video, you can see Shy's cold sweats right now.
oh man, so I have this haul video that I've like just been looking at. It's pretty much I haven't added anything to it. It's been sitting there for like in my computer for almost a month now. The reason why I don't want to like work on it is so it doesn't make me want to buy more. Is that scary?
I thought you did your
Thanks.
haul videos the way that you did them so that it like keeps you in check.
It does, yeah, but this one I'm not. Just because I know there's so much out there. That's weird, right? It's a weird
Okay, well,
thing.
let's talk it through. Let's talk it through. What is it that you want that's retiring now this year?
Nothing. I have everything.
There you go. You're done. Then you don't need to buy anything.
You're done. You're done.
Conversation's over. No. But like, what do you want? Like, what are these deals that you're seeing that are like life changing?
I'm not seeing any deals. That's the reason why I'm not looking.
Nice.
I'm
See,
refusing to look at anyone's video,
good
Dani,
tactic.
who are sharing clearances or freaking tech. Luckily for him, though, it's all in the UK. So like, but like, people are throwing out deals everywhere. It's really hard to ignore it, especially if a lot of the content you follow is in Lego.
Yeah.
Like it's everywhere. Like
I hate
Amazon,
seeing-
like it's everywhere.
I hate seeing everyone's clearance deals because our clearance is garbage.
That too. I feel like there's a lot of Lego fans in California, and two, there's a lot of people that can afford it.
Yeah. It just gets me excited. I'm like, oh, dang, that's on sale like that. And I'll run to the store. I'm like,
Mhm.
Gone.
what?
Are you gonna do any are you guys gonna do any like family shopping or Lego or like any Thanksgiving traditions like this year?
To deal with Lego?
Either. Like, what are you guys doing? Like, I think for us, like, we already started putting together the Christmas village, the winter village. So we've been doing that slowly, and we're probably going to keep like working on it. We're not hosting Thanksgiving this year. We were supposed to, and then like my aunt and uncle who usually hosted, they're like in their 80s now, but they're like, oh no, we can do it. It's like because we're gonna do like a small group, and so they're like, okay, we can handle that. And so when it becomes a big group, it's on us, which will be fun. I've done it. I've hosted like 40 people in my 2-bedroom condo. I don't remember how I did that, but that's fine. I don't ever need to do that again. But I like 15 would be fine. We're hosting like a Friendsgiving, like just like 8 people. That's fine. But and so we're gonna like have time to like do actual things on Thanksgiving other than just like cooking and like prepping. And so I think we're gonna like work on some Winter Village stuff and like start decorating. But yeah, there'll be Lego involved for sure in that tradition. And we're also like starting our traditions together now, so too, which is like really fun.
I think I'm in the same boat as like we're creating new traditions, at least for the holidays, because like this is my first Thanksgiving to New Year's that I've ever had with my family since I was in high school, so almost 20 years. Like I've never had
like your
holiday.
parents and stuff.
Yeah, like just in general, like every time I had Thanksgiving, it was always like a split second. Like, hey, I'm here. Okay, I gotta leave by like 10 o'clock.
Oh, like you've always had to work.
I always had to work the next day or that day, or it was in the Marine Corps, so I wasn't around, or like it was the post office, so I'm like working like at 4 o'clock in the morning. So I never, and then the entire season of the holidays, I hated capitalism. I hated everything about it. Like everybody's shopping, wanting to kill each other. You just see some really bad things. Moms,
Black
my
Fridays.
God,
like in retail.
Yeah, it just like it brings out the dark side of the holidays.
It's really bad. My
bad.
dad feels that way about it. He doesn't understand. He thinks it's like a really, really big fault in our society. Do you know what I mean? Like,
he's really just merchandise the holidays anyway, so it takes away like the core meaning of just being with your family.
Yeah, that's
So I used to live near a mall, eating dinner like at 8 o'clock, and there are already people walking and driving to the mall on Thanksgiving, and I'm like, what? This is how you want to spend your Thanksgiving, is trying to beat people for something like $10 cheaper than normal. That's not worth it to me. And for me, who like I want to spend time with my family. Like I wish I had the opportunity to all of us can go together to go do something. Like I never had that. So this year around, like it's my first time, so I'm actually looking forward to it and creating something that I can continue doing as the time progresses. So like you, I have all the Winter Village sets since the gingerbread, so I still need to build all those. I just finished the Home Alone set. So we're gonna create something there as far as like traditional. The only traditional thing that we've ever done for me is my club. Like we always do like a Friendsgiving, like we can't really call it a Thanksgiving because like some of our members are Native American, so they really hate that thing. So we just call it like holiday dinner or something like that.
Like family dinner or something.
Yeah, family dinner. So we do it like the first Saturday of December. So that's something that we've always done. It's always been a huge thing. So it's a huge potluck, it's a party, but it's it's exactly what a Friendsgiving would be. And then my traditional was which I miss the most is that I used to go to 4 different Thanksgiving dinners every year. 2 of them would be my grandparents. So I'll go to my grandma's house and I'd get like traditional Southern black soul food. And then I'd go to my mom's house, which would be Filipino food.
nice.
Then I'd go to my friend's house, which would be traditional American food. And then I'd go to my wife's family's house, which would be Mexican food. So I'd like make a whole trip and then go to work like right after that. Fortunately now we lost the soul food part because my grandmother passed. My mom doesn't cook anymore. So now it's strictly on us to create something. So I wanted this year to be like the first year I actually created a dinner for myself, but I didn't have time. So I'm going to prep next year for it. So I'm looking forward to like family traditions I've never been more excited for it. I'm just gonna say that.
That's cool.
Mhm.
I don't know if you can hear my kids. I don't know what they're doing in the living room.
Just
but
a
they're
little bit. I think they're excited about Thanksgiving too.
They're just excited to play with their cousins. Like you have the opportunity to every day to still play with your cousins, right? And you have a huge family, right?
Yeah.
I know you have a huge family. Like, how big is your family?
Yeah. So there's 6 kids in my family. So I have 5 siblings, and they're all married except for me and my brother. And so they all have kids. So I have 13 nieces and nephews.
Wow.
That's an expensive Christmas list.
Yeah, actually funny that you say that, because I miraculously somehow actually have something for everybody, and I've always been pretty bad at giving gifts. And I would still say I am pretty bad at giving gifts. Like, I don't usually just get somebody something for the sake of like, oh, it's Christmas, I better give you a gift. In fact, none of our family really does that. If anything, it's more so like mom and dad were just going to get some things for the kids, and it just kept getting bigger every year, more kids. And then eventually my parents became the grandparents and bestowed much better, cooler, greater things upon the grandkids than what we ever got. So that started to get a little bit out of hand. So we pulled back, and I think we're still in the process of pulling back. And so, yeah, it's just like, there's a lot of people. So it's more like, if you have a thoughtful gift, let's do that. If you think of somebody when you see something, let's make it thoughtful. Because really, like, we are together so much. So just coming together for the holiday can almost be a little bit overwhelming, because there's the expectation that we're going to have this meal and sit down together, but kids don't really sit down together. And so there's always going to be a little bit of edginess to any big family get together. And plus we bring like extended family as well. So yeah, I think we'll be on the low side of like 30 tomorrow, down from our usual like 42. So
Wow.
I don't have any cousins, honestly. I don't have any cousins. It's just all the nieces and nephews that really fill the room just with noise.
Immediate family plus offspring.
It's
yeah, immediate family plus offspring is what, like 23, 24? I lost count.
That's awesome.
Yeah, like when we bring the cousins and then aunts and uncles and stuff, it adds up pretty fast.
That's how my family is. We've had to divide.
Yeah.
We've had to divide, and it's like, it's kind of sad, because it's like, especially here, like there's nobody that can host everybody. Like,
Right.
no one has a space for it. And I
Yeah.
don't think I ever will. So, but
That's just
anyway.
how families work. They just keep growing. I guess it's a
know.
blessing, you know?
Yeah.
Fortunately, we do have enough space to still have everybody.
Mhm.
And yeah, I don't think that we'll have to change
Benefits of
anything.
Indiana.
Yeah, Indiana just generally has more space.
Yeah.
Like just all around, more shelf space, just everything. So yeah, I think we'll be pretty good. So tomorrow we're hosting Thanksgiving, and so everybody's bringing different foods and dishes, so it's bound to be big.
Is it like
and
a
fun.
potluck style?
Well, it's very organized. So I didn't realize potluck could mean bring any culinary dish.
I hate potlucks unless they're organized. Yeah.
Yeah, because I had been to a couple, and we had everything between like fried rice and mashed potatoes, and I was like, these dishes don't go together. So like, where's the ham balls and the
the issue is that like when
corn.
4 people bring the same thing, you know, and it's like,
oh yeah, you get a bunch of so
Gotta
that
have
kind
the
of
mac and
problematic.
cheese.
I don't know. That's how our like club one is. It's really random because it comes from like all different types of cultures.
backgrounds.
Yeah.
That it's just like a mashup of like something good from everywhere.
I mean,
But then
that's
we also
good.
have,
If
like,
it's like
But we
that.
also have like Little Caesars and Popeyes on the table too, and those are gone like that.
That's American
surprisingly.
culture.
Yeah, well,
Interesting.
yeah, that's true. But then like like I see the point. But then again, we like when we do stuff like it's not like an open potluck either. It's like list what you're bringing, so at least we know who's not bringing something, so that way you can fulfill that gap if like, someone needs to bring drinks or condiments or plates or something like that.
Yeah.
But when it's like intimate family, yes, like we have to make something specific to bring over tomorrow to my brother-in-law's place.
Yeah, me too. I'm making something specific. Yeah.
I'll take some pictures of what the food looks like tomorrow, so you can
Yes.
see more specifically what our organized potluck looks like.
Like a feast for 40 or whatever. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Yeah.
good. So.
I love taking those photos of like just the feast before the grubbing. Like you just see like just food.
glorious food.
Glorious food, and see how much of that will be eaten, and the rest will be lunch for the next week and a half.
Yeah.
Yep, pretty much. That's how it goes.
So,
Turkey sandwiches.
Ninja, what are
Yeah.
you doing, bro?
Same old thing. Going, checking out the family. I don't know. It just came out of nowhere.
No,
I was not
October
prepared for
and
this.
November flew.
Yeah,
This
right.
whole year went by fast.
Yeah.
No, the year was fine, but just these last 2 months flew.
The year went by quick for me.
I'm just ready for some double baked mac and cheese. That's all I know.
Ooh,
That sounds so good.
I'm ready for it right now.
really?
I hate mac and cheese because it's all my son wants to eat.
Oh, see, this is not that
Entire
kind of
year.
mac and cheese. It's
Like
got
every year.
jalapenos. It's got all the goods in it.
Yeah. So I try to make something cool like that for him, and he doesn't like it. He wants basic.
Oh yeah.
Nothing cool. If it has like a flake on it that's not yellow,
What
I
is
don't
this
want it.
green
I'm like,
square?
oh my god, just eat it right now. It tastes just as good.
Why is the cheese white? It's
Exactly.
the same
Oh my
cheese.
goodness,
What's this
yeah.
crumb stuff? I'm like,
Oh my god, where
Oh my
does that come
goodness.
from? I'm really curious. Like, why are some kids like that and others not? It's
Isn't
so
that just a
fascinating.
developmental stage? Like they
I don't
just
know. My
need, like,
son's
the
really
same
picky.
thing?
my daughter's
Oh.
not. That's just they're just very
Interesting.
different. And I was very picky at that age too, so it makes sense.
Mm.
You know, you just eventually you open up your palette of food that you're willing to eat.
I
No.
had the only issue, I was such a little greedy butterball. I like only it was just like really strong flavors. Like when I was little, like I had trouble with like mustard and olives.
Yeah.
But then I think I was like eating like shellfish at like 4.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, actually, yeah, Dougie was like that, kind of like that too. He was
Yeah.
just like, "Yeah, can I have some shrimp cocktail?" He's like,
Yeah, my dad like took me to like a work function thing with like we were living in the UK at the time, and my dad's boss came and like my dad's boss was like, "Oh, like, can I take you out to dinner and stuff?" And he's like, "Yeah, can I bring my family?" Because like he always took my mom and I think I ordered like mussels, like steamed mussels in like white wine and like fries,
Wow.
and I was like, I don't know, 4, quite literally.
Nice.
And I think like his boss, his kids were like, cheese pizza and chicken tenders, please. And like all the time
Yeah.
he was like, what is this kid who's like drinking out of the thing? Yeah.
"Wow,
You know
Wow.
what's weird with that? Not to keep diving to this food thing.
Mhm.
So my son's school, they have pizza parties all the time, but none of the kids want pizza. Like none of them care for pizza. Like when I remember as a kid, you bring up pizza, it's like the best thing in the world. But then like these
Mhm.
kids care nothing for pizza.
Mm.
Hmm.
It's
They just get it
really
too often?
weird. No, it's not that. It's just like every time a parent wants to bring pizza for like a birthday, the school's like, maybe you want to choose something different because the
What
kids
do they
won't
eat
it."
then?
I don't know. It's just not pizza.
interesting." Veggie sticks and ranch.
Yeah.
Right. All right. Well,
Huh?
I think we've hit this pretty hard,
Mhm.
and I am now starving.
Mhm.
Right?
Mission accomplished.
I want to eat, and I'm ready. I'm ready for
It's also dinner time.
tomorrow.
for us.
It is dinner time for us. Danny's supposed to go to sleep soon,
We're gonna watch Hawkeye.
Yeah.
and then we all have a huge feast to prepare for and enjoy
Mhm.
tomorrow. And if you're listening to this, we already did, and we're all lethargic and kind of just passed out somewhere.
Mhm.
Shout out to you for
Definitely.
making it.
Essentially, when this
far.
releases, we're already like
Yeah,
food
we're
coma
Yeah.
still.
Yeah.
Food coma hangover, I guess.
The
Yeah.
itis.
Well,
Well-
happy holidays. And to
Yeah.
those that this is a stressful time, because it is for many, you can get through this. It's a shorter season than it seems. And enjoy the time with your family and yourself and your shopping and your pets and your adopted families and your families that you're hiding from. Good luck, all of you. I mean,
Right.
we've all got that weird family member that you're like, I don't want to have a conversation
Damn,
with
is he
them.
gonna be here?
Facebook block.
Exactly. So
All
good
over.
luck, everybody.
Well,
And
thanks,
thanks for
Danny.
joining us. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for
coming
having me
and
on.
letting us dive into your family and what you guys think about and do stuff. So,
Yeah, anytime.
we already know that your party's gonna be lit AF.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
gonna be an actual party. Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
That's
in
it.
that case, Ninja, you roll us out, yeah?
Well, I mean, that's it. Play the music.
Peace. Cool. Thanks, Danny.
Mhm.
Yeah. That's fun.
tired. I'm so tired.
Are
Are you gonna go to bed right after you eat?
Oh no, I gotta be a dad.